What specifically made you want the role of SGA president?
The main reason that I want to continue being on SGA, I've served the SGA in the past year, and I think I do a really great job of leading it. I passed a series of proposals this past year. The Winter Spirit Week, for example, I'm getting an anti-bullying seminar named Challenge Day coming to the school in the fall, and in addition to a couple of other small things. So that's the main reason why.
What made you prioritize this role over other leadership roles?
I think it's because the SGA president is really somebody who is the face of the school and is leading the school. And I think that that's something that I want to do. And that's something I want to be that face for the third formers when they're coming in as a friendly face and someone who can adjust them to the school.
If you could change anything about this year's SGA, what would it be? And be specific.
If I could change anything about the SGA, that's a good question. I wish that we had started the year with a goal in mind, with a specific goal. I remember Olivia Zitkis started her SGA presidency with the goal of changing the culture of Hill. I don't think we've had that focus this past year. So I wish we had, a moonshot kind of goal.
What power do you think the SGA has?
I think the biggest thing the SGA should do is raise the morale of students on campus. I think that's a big thing. Defend students on DCs when appropriate, and help the lives of students with faculty and with other students around them.
With some specificity, how will you effectively approach working with the administration?
I've worked with the administration the past year, so I'm going to use a lot of the same strategies that I've built up this past year. I've developed a good relationship, but I'm also going to be firm with them on things like DCs, which I'm one of the only 2 people to have sat on a DC running for president, and I'll be firm with them when necessary, but I also want to maintain those good relationships that I've built with them.
Without having a primary caucus this year, you only have 1 chance to speak to the voters rather than 2. What strategies will you use specifically to make sure your message is reached most effectively?
A big thing that I want to focus on is I don't want to put down other candidates. I think that doesn't set a good precedent for the SGA president and for the school as a whole. I want to sell myself and why I'm the best candidate up there, and I can do that effectively without putting other people down.
In your eyes, what is the relationship between the SGA and the student body, and more specifically, how do you plan on utilizing it?
So yeah, again, I think the big thing is I want the SGA to have a bigger presence on campus in order to raise student morale. I think, with the Winter Spirit Week, that was a big thing that I was focusing on. Making sure that we're not in the doldrums all year. And, with the pep rally at the beginning of the year, that was another great thing. So I really want to hit hard on that, raising student morale and uniting our community, because that's where the strength of our school lies, in the excellent community that we fostered.
And lastly, what are the 3 specific goals you plan to accomplish as SGA president?
3 specific goals. 1, I want to increase the presence of the SGA on campus. I'm going to do this by bringing back State of the Hills once a term, because that puts the SGA in a passive role. I'm going to put less of an emphasis on the website and the digital media, and more emphasis on the real-life human interactions. Another thing, I want the SGA to lead the school in going over the handbook, much like how the Honor Council leads the school in going over the Honor Code. Thank you. In the Honor Code. So, there are a lot of rules in the handbook that I don't think are blatantly obvious are level 3 offenses. I'll just say, propping open a door is a level 3 offense. That's disciplinary action. That's something that I didn't know until this year. So I think it would be good to educate new and returning students on that. Third thing that I want to focus on is an Instagram for the SGA. I know I said I wanted to shy away from the digital media, but I think Instagram is what the majority of students use. We just found that out with the thing with Blogsworth. So by creating an Instagram, that'll be a great way for the SGA to communicate and also to highlight what's going on campus.